Hello, hello. It's Saturday, February 8th, 2025, and I am Jason Shapiro with crowdedmarketreport.com. I wanted to make a video this week that I think sounds like nothing I've ever done before, because I think we're in markets that I don't know that we've ever seen before. At least I don't think I have. And I've been doing this quite a while, and I've traded a lot of different markets. But we're in a situation here where there's so much uncertainty on so many different levels and on so many different time frames that I think trading and taking aggressive positions here is really, really dangerous for your long-term health, your long-term financial health, you know. And clearly, the market is always uncertainty, because that's what the markets are, and that's why there's the possibility to make money either up or down or whatever, because there is uncertainty. If it were certain, the market would be at one price and it would just stay there because we were certain. But, you know, let's face it, with the change in the administration in the USA and the stance that this administration has taken, agree or disagree, I don't care about your politics, and I don't think you care about my politics, okay? I'm trying to look at this as a market participant. You know, it creates so much uncertainty. Just look at the short-term uncertainty that it creates, because, you know, tweets come out in the middle of the day, or reports of tweets come out, and then half an hour later, those reports are said that wasn't true, and it goes away, and then 2 hours later another tweet does come out that maybe agreed or disagreed with the previous rumor of a tweet and all that, and all the markets move based on that. And there is no way, obviously there's never really a way to predict the market, but there's no way to predict what these things are going to be or when they're going to be. And on a short-term basis, that makes it very, very hard, obviously, right? And a situation that we haven't really seen before, okay? And on an even more medium-term or longer-term basis, we don't really know what the outcome. Well, first of all, we don't even know what exactly the new administration is going to put in, although they've done a pretty good job of telling us what they wanted to do, and have been following through on that. But we don't know how the markets are going to take that. We don't know how they're going to react to that. And we really don't know what the economic outcome is. And even if we did, you have to believe, because it's not just economics, it's also politics, right? And this administration is trying to make some very big changes in how politics is done in Washington. And that might be great, but it's going to be a bumpy ride. Right? We already see they try to put these things in place. The other side goes to court. The court sometimes says, no, they can't do that, right? And these are all very hard things to try and, you know, to trade off of, right? And in time, this will settle down, I have to believe. Sure, Donald Trump's always going to tweet and do all that stuff, but I think he's really pushing the first 100-day agenda type thing. And doing all these executive orders and really stirring up the pot. And I think in time that will calm down. And once it calms down, that will probably be a great place to try and pick a spot to make money. But I really feel for now, this is not the time to be aggressive, right? And I've kind of felt this way, as you can see in my reports and stuff, since the election, but it's gotten even more so. And forgetting about the politics of it all, the consensus, the psychology, the positioning in the markets is showing so much neutrality here, and so many two-sided arguments. Like, for example, AII investor sentiment, okay, shows the biggest number of bears in 52 weeks, with the market less than 2% from all-time highs. Why would people be so bearish with the market 2% from all-time highs? But then we see something like this one, right? This is a Citibank market sentiment thing, which is showing it almost on all-time highs. Okay? Which one is it? I don't know. Are people too long? Are people too short? Are people too bullish? Are people too bearish? Very hard to say based on data, because the data is kind of all over the place, right? And we see that in a lot of other assets as well. And I, being a positioning person, looking at COT positioning and all this, can tell you there's nothing out there in the COT positioning that's showing things are crowded one way or the other. So that would indicate there's really no consensus out there. And as a contrarian who's trying to fade mass consensus, I'm not seeing mass consensus. So what does that mean for the market? I mean, from my perspective, it means I'm not going to be doing a lot of trading right now until things sort of get to where they're more consensus and more crowded. If I had to guess, I always go to the market first. If I had to guess, I would say the fact that we've had this big change, that we hear tariffs every day, that we had this deep thing, whatever the hell it's called, from China come out that was going to blow out the entire or whatever, AI industry, that we have stocks that are seen to be very overvalued, in particular, using historical numbers. Given that all the things have happened and the S&P is less than 2% from all-time highs, I think the markets are sending a message, personal, that it's going higher. I don't know if it's going to go higher today or tomorrow. Well, it's not going to be today because it's Saturday, but I don't know if it's going to be this week or this month or whatever. But I think the fact that it's fighting off all this news is bullish. Now, next week the market goes down 10%. My story would have to be totally different, right? But for now, right now, I think the market is sending out a pretty clear sign that it's going to be bullish, And look, when I get to the uncertainty of the future and all that too, we have this AI thing that, in my view, forgetting the politics and all that, is the most important thing. Because the question is this going to create this productivity boom or not? And if it's not, then the markets are hugely overvalued. Period. But if it is going to create this huge productivity boom, then maybe the markets aren't overvalued, because we've never seen a productivity boom like the one that is being anticipated. Or I don't know if it's being anticipated, but the one that it could provide, or what we're being told by the big tech gurus it could provide. So if it does come through with that, then arguably the market is not overvalued. In particular, the companies that will benefit from that productivity boom. I'm not talking about the people that are selling the picks and shovels, but the people that are buying the picks and shovels actually hit gold. They will benefit from that if that AI story ends up being true. So then there is no overvaluation. But again, that to me is huge uncertainty as well. And again, there's always uncertainty. But I don't even think the people that are doing the AI know what this is going to look like. I mean, if they did, how did they miss the whole DeepSeek thing? All of a sudden, one day, this DeepSeek thing came out, like, oh my God, that changes everything. Oh, where were these people on that? They were nowhere. We didn't hear about anything about that. It's such an uncertain future. The computing power is taking off so strongly that I really don't know that there's a very good way to know what. I never believe that you can know the future, but this one seems even tougher. And mix that with the politics that's going on right now and the huge changes that the new administration is trying very hard to put through, shaking up the world. And you have, I would argue, the most amount of uncertainty, both in the short and certainly medium term, that I've ever seen in 35 years of doing this. And so given that, again, I will reiterate, and given the positioning that I see, and given the psychology that I see, and given the lack of consensus either way that I see, I really think that right now is not a great time to be playing. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, right? Know when to run. And over the long term, I'm not talking about your long-term investments. There's no reason to bail on your long-term stock index investments or whatever, same thing. But trading, this just feels like it's going to be a very good time to be throwing away money as a trader. And that's a bad thing over time. Doesn't matter. You don't make a trade for a month, 2 months. It's not going to matter 5-10 years from now. I know we want to make money every day. And if you're a day trader and you can do all that, then hey, go for it. I'm not a day trader. I still think day traders are going to have a hard time too because of these tweets that come out every day. Market's not going to hold some intraday support level when a tweet comes out saying we're going to do whatever, and it's not going to hold some resistance level when a tweet comes out and says, oh, well, we changed our mind. We're not going to do whatever, right? Is Donald using these things as a negotiating tactic? Or using, in the morning, we're putting tariffs on Mexico. In the afternoon, oh, well, we talked to Mexico and we're not putting tariffs because they're agreeing to this, or we're putting tariffs in a month, which means we now have a whole month to decide if there's going to be new tariffs or not. And how do you monitor that? How do you discount that? How do you put odds on what's going to happen? I think it's very, very difficult. That's my point here. So what I'm trying to say is be careful here, right? The market's not going anywhere. It's always going to be here. But what you don't want to be doing when things go back to semi-normal is you don't want to be making back losses that you made. You want to be making new profits. And if there's ever a time that I've seen where it's time to back up, take a vacation, take a break, do whatever, do some research, look into stuff, get better, I would say this is the time. And that's really my message today. So I hope that finds you well. I hope that if you do continue to trade aggressively, you prove me totally wrong and make a ton of money out of this volatility. Awesome. I would love that for you. Please like this video. If you found any value in it, please check us out, crowdedmarketreport.com. We have a free Substack. We have all the YouTube videos. We have all kinds of stuff. So check it out if you like. And please leave questions and comments. I always like to hear from people. All right? If they think I'm crazy, I think maybe I make sense, if it helps them, whatever. It's always good to hear comments and questions. All right. So I hope you enjoy that. I hope everybody has a good weekend, good Super Bowl. And we will talk again next week. And good luck, everybody, next week. Thank you.